Eminem's new album received pretty good feedback from the fans. This probably was the last time when we heard this version of Marshall. Controversial lyrics, amazing flows, and him trying his best to get cancelled. In this video, I'd like to give a full song analysis of my personal favorite on this album, which is the song called Habits. We will explain each bar and what did Eminem meant by it. But first, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this.
Half an Ativan, I'm driving straight out of van, in a black sedan, fast as I can.
Shady gives Eminem an Ativan, a drug used to treat conditions like epilepsy and anxiety. Though nervously, Eminem is threatened with a bullet by his alter ego. The sentence, half an Ativan, comes from Shady's offer to split the drug in half, with each of them taking one half. Could be a reference to the car on the cover of Slim Shady LP, Eminem's 1999 album, where he first introduced the character of Slim Shady. This album had classics like My Name Is, Guilty Conscience, and Brain Damage on it. The car on the cover is late 70s Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
In Pakistan, getting chased by Pakistans, you know how I roll. I'm an avalanche.
A reference to Eminem's popular 2000 song Stan with Dido, which became its own meaning in the end, with the term Stan being added to the Merriam-Webster dictionary in 2019 to mean an extremely or excessively enthusiastic and devoted fan. Getting hunted by a group of his own stans would look like a rolling avalanche of Eminems.
It's my I'm gonna spit it how I wanna spit it. Whoever gets offended can pick a critic.
This line expresses he can rap about whatever he wants, and no one can stop him. Also, he even spits on Slim Shady's grave in one of his album trailers for this album. This gives us the Kamikaze vibes, Eminem's 2018 album, where he replied to everyone who ever spoke negatively towards Marshall, including critics.
About to get on this Shut up, midget.
Marshall complains that the term "retarded" is becoming increasingly unacceptable to many people, a cultural change that has happened during his career. Midget is another word that some consider a slur, and it might apply to people younger than Eminem, such as Gen Z youth, who are more likely to find the term retarded offensive. This concept is also evident in another song from this album, Guilty Conscience 2, where Eminem raps, "Tried to tell you we'd get slaughtered for saying retarded." Also in the next lines he says,
"Trying to break the habit of saying any R words, but I'm still an addict, so it's getting harder."
Which is a reference to the Ativan line of the song, where Shady gave a pill to Marshall, and he is an addict.
This is Jimmy Carter, now I'm kitty cornered, sitting in PC court with a law like.
Jimmy Carter is the 39th president of the USA. Jimmy Carter served as president between 1977 and 1981. Marshall was born in 1972. Therefore, when he was a kindergartner, Jimmy Carter was in office. Being kitty-cornered refers to being situated diagonally opposite someone. Eminem depicts himself cornered on trial with a poor defense lawyer for not being politically correct enough. And now let's move to the chorus.
You got an addiction, man. I know you can't get rid of me forever because you know that I'm prescription, man.
Suddenly I cannot play the whole chorus because of YouTube's copyright guidelines, so that's why I only put the beginning part of it, and also had to speed it up. At first listen, it looks like the chorus is discussing Eminem's abusive drug use, which resulted in a near-fatal overdose in 2007. Despite being clean since entering to rehab in 2008, Eminem has released a number of tunes revolving around his prior drug addiction, including Never Love Again and When I'm Gone. As well as to his drug addiction, Marshall also developed an addiction to Slim Shady. He made several attempts to murder him, such as in the song called My Darling, but he was never successful. His addiction to Shady won't go away.
Was just a kid from Detroit who knew how to destroy the booth and had a point to prove.
First of all, there is a literal meaning. Eminem's first studio album, Infinite, was released in 1996. Even though it sold less than 1,000 copies, Eminem wasn't about giving up. He had a whole world to prove his purpose. Second, Marshall calls out Prove because it sounds a lot like Proof. Since they were young, Eminem's best friend has been Proof, whose real name is Deshaun Holton. He was the heart and soul of the D12 team, and he frequently helped Marshall during his career. One of the things that caused him to give in into an almost suicidal melancholy was the loss of his best friend.
Venom is still a poison youth sentences.
This verse plays on Eminem's track Venom from 2018, where he says, "'Cause if I'm the music that y'all grew up on, I'm responsible for you fools."
Slim is just a lyricist, hear the voice, his true sentiments.
Eminem's music reflects his actual sentiments and beliefs. These statements have shocked or outraged women. In the following line he says,
The women, and it seems like men are just off growing a huge. Yeah, probably annoyed a few feminists.
This line is probably intended to be controversial and provocative. The term clits is used symbolically to describe males becoming more feminine or less traditionally masculine. The phrase pussies is a slang term that is frequently used to mock someone's masculinity or courage, meaning that the guys are behaving weak or unmanly.
When it comes to giving it to anybody, boy is Bruce generous, and about as much of a boy as Bruce generous.
Eminem's middle name is Bruce. Marshall combines an oronym in Bruce Generous with Bruce Jenner is to refer to Caitlyn Jenner, a transgender woman formerly known by her ex-name Bruce. Eminem's implicit generosity is demonstrated by his willingness to take verbal attacks at famous personalities such as Christopher Reeve, and his extensive list of rap opponents. Later on the bridge part of the song he says,
"Something's wrong with me, my God. Old habits die hard."
Marshall admits that he will be unable to permanently confine Shady. He is becoming weaker as Shady grows furious and motivated by all of the controversy.
Mom shaming, dad shaming, yeah, fat shaming, mansplaining, black crybabies, attack Shady.
A few of the people Eminem has focused on in his career include these. In a number of songs such as Cleanin' Out My Closet from 2002 and Brain Damage from 1999, Eminem shames his mother Debbie Mathers for her careless parenting. In a few tracks, like Leaving Heaven from 2020, Eminem took aim at his father Marshall Mathers II. He rapped, "Couple that with the fact my mother was bad. Pop was a sack of shit. Yeah, he died. But I gave half a shit. Yeah, which brings me back to the dear old dad that I zero had."
Mad cause they can't tame me. They come to censors like the Avengers.
When the word mad is used as a joke, it could imply that Shady is mentally sick or that the crybabies are upset because they are unable to control him. Eminem is speaking out against the existence of censors who are always investigating his public remarks and lyrics. Eminem has seen a great deal of restriction and criticism for his contentious and offensive songs over the course of his career. Eminem has frequently responded against this kind of restriction by promoting artistic freedom and the freedom of speech.
All these pronouns, I can't remember. They, them, theirs, his, or him, hers.
Using they, them pronouns and sharing your preferred pronouns has been growing in popularity over the last 10 years, especially among Gen Z, the group that Eminem often addresses in his lyrics. Such actions are an example of the generational divide, an ongoing theme in The Death of Slim Shady.
To them girls who bought to get attention, then get hit on by ugly men who are not.
These lines criticize people who use changes in appearance to get attention, including implants for breasts, only to get unwanted attention from males who think they're ugly.
Nowadays some gals, they just clout chase.
It's a word play. Cloud chasing, or cloud with a D, is the practice of using an electronic cigarette to create massive vapor clouds. A clout chaser is someone who intentionally links himself to the success of a well-known figure or movement in order to become well-known and attract attention.
Get off the internet, you ain't even fed your kids dinner yet.
I think Eminem was referring to the 2022-2023 Ruby Franca and Jody Hildebrandt incident. Ruby Franca, the owner of the 8 Passengers YouTube channel and a rising star in the world of YouTubers, was accused of abusing children. This includes starving her kids, which is the origin of the saying, "You ain't even fed your kids dinner yet."
Messing with a lethal weapon like an evil stepdad.
This refers to a song on Eminem's album Music to Be Murdered by called Stepdad, which describes how M's evil stepdad abuses both his mother and him throughout essential points in M's early life, and makes her fantasize about all the ways he could have killed M.
Got an infrared like a ginger stepkid who pissed the bed.
I got an infrared refers to the sentence that comes right before it, which describes it as a lethal weapon. An infrared illuminator is a weapon attachment that is intended to illuminate targets in the dark when combined with night vision goggles. Here, the term infrared is also used as a double, meaning in for red. This refers to the previous bar's line about the evil stepdad, and imagines a situation in which the stepfather has it in for his red-headed stepchild, which is slang for an unwanted or abused kid, and is about to beat him up for wetting the bed.
It's just a mess in there. Put your head. And if men want to wear lipstick and women's underwear.
Eminem reminds us that Slim Shady is just putting on an appearance, in spite of all the hate and humiliation directed at minorities. After all, in some of his music videos, Eminem was wearing stylish clothing.
With these buttons, I'm always pushing. Pain, I'm always inflicting. Protesters outside the Shady office is livid.
Em is constantly pushing the limits, the buttons, of what people will accept from him. The line, protesters outside the Shady offices livid, likely refers to a situation where people are angry and demonstrating outside a location associated with Eminem, whose record label is Shady Records.
It'll make you think that you had the game unlocked till they pick it. Only wait for me to explain it, yes, I'm conflicted.
Game on lock means you're dominating your domain. This verse also plays on the phrase, picking a lock, which M uses here to state that the domination can be ended. A reference to J. Cole's apology to Kendrick Lamar. I felt conflicted because I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood.
Walking on eggshells like if I take it too far, is this it? Part of me gets it and wants to say I'm sorry and fix it.
This phrase means to be very careful not to offend or upset someone, but here Eminem says, like if I take it too far, is this it? This implies that he is concerned about the consequences of going too far, or saying anything very divisive. Is this it? Suggests an anxiety of going too far, or suffering grave consequences.
A minute, which R word? Midget, not cool. Would this rhyme be okay if South Park did it? Okay.
Eminem refers to the South Park television series in the part containing ad-libs making fun of Cartman is made in reference to the use of the R word in the episode's sponsored content.
You'll probably think I'll just say that I'm playing, I'm not, I meant it, yeah.
M makes reference to a phrase he first used in Kill You. I'm just playing ladies. You know I love you.
Swear to God, I see one of them little come at me, I'll pick it up by its legs and drop it and kick it.
In the song, Eminem makes reference to the dwarfs and midgets that were previously discussed. Given that dwarfism is described as a development deviation that causes people to be shorter than 147 centimeters in height, according to Eminem, these tiny people are as easily picked up and kicked as a football. That being said, this line is most likely satire intended to bring up debate.
But they gon' do me the same as the baby with all of it.
At Rolling Loud Miami, DaBaby made homophobic comments during his performance. In an interview, DaBaby said that he received a lot of criticism from the general public, the media, and even a few of his friends' artists. He said that numerous playlists and websites had removed his music, and that he had been rejected from many events and sponsorship offers. He estimated that the disagreement cost him about $200 million in earnings.
Chappelle and Colin, they're calling Shady misogynistic while raising 3 daughters who graduated from college with honors.
Both comedian Dave Chappelle and former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick are popular people who have faced criticism for their political beliefs. Chappelle continues to push back against the harsh judgment for his cancellation that he received for his views on free speech and transgender issues. Taking in Chappelle and Colin together creates a difference because both men received cancellation calls from people keeping different political opinions. One part of Voices claimed Chappelle of being homophobic and transphobic, while second part, Voices claimed that Colin had disrespected the national anthem. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video to the end. What are your thoughts on habits? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content about Eminem. See you in the next videos.